Good morning, everybody, on this rainy morning, but warm, yes, warm. My name is Reverend Emily Bruce. I'm the minister of this congregation, and whether this is your first time here or your 1000th time here or somewhere in between, I want to welcome you to First Parish and say it's so good to be together this morning. So thank you for being here. As Unitarian Universalists, we are people of diverse beliefs, but we share a common faith, a faith that every single person is worthy of love, a faith that what we do in and for our world really matters, and a faith that we are connected by an interdependent web of existence to each other and to our earth. So whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, please know that you are welcome here. In a moment, Barbara Agello will lead us in lighting our chalice, but first, as always, I do have a few announcements. First of all, a big round of applause for everyone who helped bring Soup and Talent to life on Friday night. Especially our host, not the host we would have chosen necessarily, but still did an admirable job. And much like our actual former president, maybe we won't invite him back to do it again. Forgive me for getting a tiny bit political there. But also everyone who made soup, everyone who paid for soup, everyone who cleaned up in the kitchen afterwards and ran the kitchen as a whole. I'm looking at Christina, I'm looking at Russ Garland, I'm looking at who else helped in the kitchen? Raise your hand. Bob, thank you. Deb, thank you, because that's the thankless work of Soup and Talent is all the dishes. So thank you all very, very much for all that. Yes. Moving on, today is Stewardship Sunday. So we are going to be talking a little bit about stewardship in our service today. And then I invite you all to join me and the stewardship team across the street in Beale House for a stewardship brunch after church. This will take the place of our normal coffee hour. We've got a lot of really good food. If you've been in Beale, you've probably already smelled it. Really good food. We're gonna have a fun little photo slideshow that we put together for you guys. And then we're gonna take some time to talk about the stewardship campaign this year and what our goals are for pledging. So I really, really hope you will stick around for that. A couple more things. On March 17th, Sunday, March 17th, which is 2 weeks from today, we are hosting some of the homeless and displaced families from the Baymont in Beale House for a craft day. It's March 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. There'll be a few families with their kids from the Baymont will come here, and we're seeking some volunteers to help us out. You don't need to come, you don't need to teach a craft, that will all be taken care of in advance. But if you want to help us help the families craft and also maybe help with some basic English conversation, because one of the biggest barriers for these folks has been learning English. So if you are interested, please see Linda Loring. Linda, raise your hand, please. And there's also going to be a sign-up sheet on Info Island. So again, that's Sunday, March 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. in the Beale House. We are also collecting for Easter lilies. Christina has once again ordered a bunch of Easter lilies for our Easter Sunday service, which is March 31st. So if you're interested in purchasing an Easter lily plant from her that you can take home after the Easter Sunday service, they're $14. Cash or check. Is check okay? Cash or check. Give it to Christina by March 24th, which is 3 weeks from today. So that's that. One more. We are once again collecting donations during coffee hour for the coffee we all drink. So as some of you know, we buy fair trade coffee through Equal Exchange, and it costs us about $300 a year for this coffee. And that's too much of a hit for the social justice budget to absorb. So we ask people if you're willing to chip in a couple dollars to help us cover the cost of the coffee. With about the number of members and friends we have, it would cost each of you about $3 for the year to cover the cost of coffee. I think you can agree that $3 for a year's worth of coffee, or 10 months worth of coffee if you're getting specific. No, because we have coffee in the summer too. $3 is a pretty good bargain, right? So there's a little basket on the counter in Beale. Look for it, throw $1, throw $2, throw $5 or $10 or $20 in there. No one's going to stop you. Yeah, so thank you in advance for supporting us and our values, which call us to support non-exploitative farm labor and poorer communities. So thank you for that. All right, I'm finished with my announcement. So I invite you all to join me in taking a deep breath in and out. Yeah, let it out. Another deep breath in and out. Let yourself relax, let your body relax, let your mind relax. Know that you are held here, you are safe and warm here, and the problems of the world will still be there when this hour is over. So please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And loosen up your muscles if you need to. If there's tension in your neck and your jaw, just try to let it go. Shake it loose and find a place of comfort and rest. Let's do one more deep breath in and out. Thank you for being here in our worship weekend.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Argello. I'm a member of the Worship Committee. This morning, we light our chalice with these words by Tracy Johnson. We kindle our chalice flame this morning, awakening the fire of our ancestors in our hearts. Beacon of freedom held out to light the way. Light of reason illuminating the path. Spark of courage igniting our spirits. Aglow with hope for all we endeavor to do together. Holy flame of times past, brighten this present moment, that we may be the love that is our center and our foundation. Blessed be. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn, number 121, We'll Build a Land. It's in the gray hymnal.
As part of our stewardship campaign this year, we will be having testimonials, one every Sunday for the next few weeks, from our members to talk about what they believe and why they support First Parish. And as you may have guessed, Paula Fisher is giving us our first testimonial this morning. Take it away, Paula.
Okay. My family was a church family. Church was a big and happy part of my childhood, teen years, and young adult life. I went to Sunday school and the big church, so that's 1 hour there and 1 hour upstairs. And I sang in the junior choir and then in the senior choir. I was active in the youth fellowship and attended a church-affiliated camp in Rhode Island from the age of 12 till my 30s or 40s, in all honesty, even when I wasn't really a Methodist anymore. So when settling in Kingston in 1979, it was natural for me as an adult to find a church in which I was comfortable and maintain this affiliation. This past Friday's Soup and Talent Night brought back my memories of partaking in a variety of opportunities in my childhood church to test my ability to speak, sing, perform in front of people beyond my immediate family, people I knew and trusted and loved. This built up my confidence and I believe shaped the person I am today. I watched the children's performances on Friday and hope that they too have absorbed the positive feedback they received and are able to draw on this as they move forward. Some of you too perhaps were involved in a church when young, hopefully with good memories, or perhaps memories that eventually turned you away from belonging to that church. Yet, here we all are. I've been on several stewardship committees in my 42 years and always wished I'd find a magic watchword or phrase that would open everyone's heart to the importance of supporting First Parish. It would not surprise me if the current stewardship committee members felt the same way. I doubt that will be the case this morning, but I shall continue with a little tale. During a worship service, a minister was discussing donations and tithing with her congregation. She asked them, if you had $1 million, would you be willing to give 10% of that to your church? Almost all the hands went up, except for one man who caught the minister's eye. After the service, the minister noticed that parishioner was walking past to leave and stopped to ask him, why would you not be willing to give 10% if you had $1 million? Is there any greater joy than serving this church and its mission? The man looked sheepish and replied, I guess not, but I actually have $1 million. Along with outreach and the social justice programs our church takes on to help those in need, your donation is needed to keep our church here for you and your needs now and in the future as well. Many here can tell and do tell us how important our church has been for them in times of joy and in times of sorrow. May we all share in this care. As clerk of the church, just a little administrative bit here now. As clerk of the church, I want to add that pledging is another part of membership. Some of you donate and pledge, but have not joined the church. Some of you have joined and by taking the new to UU classes and signed the book, which is what we consider one of the parts of becoming a member, but do not pledge or donate. The thing to know is that the same services are available to us all, no matter the amount of money given or not given. Every January, we turn our membership numbers into the UUA. We currently have 89 members. My goal is to help get more people to want to be a full member of First Parish Kingston, to sign the book and pledge, so that in January 2025, our membership number is 100. There is something you currently spend your money on that is less important than your life in this church. Think about it and give freely from the heart, donate what you can, and give until it feels really good. And now, before I go back to my pew, I got my letter in the mail this week. I got my little pledge card. And as I head back to my seat, I'm going to give this to Kathy Kay, all filled out and ready for next year.
Thank you, Paula. Well done. I knew you were the right person to kick us off today. Very well done. Thank you.
This eve. Our offering anthem is Simple Gifts, a Shaker hymn, arranged by John Coates.
Simple is the gift to be free, is the gift to the dark and very old, and every and ourselves in the Christ as God to be the love of in true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. Will be our delight, to our turning, burning comfort. 'Tis the gift to be gentle, 'tis the gift to be fair, 'tis the gift to awake and breathe the morning air, and every day to walk in the path we choose. 'Tis the gift that we pray we may ne'er come to lose. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come out right. 'Tis the gift to be loving, 'tis the best gift of all, like a quiet rain, it blesses where it falls, and if we have the gift, we will truly believe 'tis better to give than it is to receive. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, still by turning we come right.
Today's reading is When Giving is All We Have by Alberto Rios. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud, quiet, big, though small, diamond and wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and over again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue, and I gave you yellow. Together, we are simply green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together, we made something greater from the difference.
Together, we made something greater, because together we are stronger than we are alone. Because together, we rise. Today is Stewardship Sunday. This means that this is my sermon on the amount, as us clergy like to call it, the day when we actually do want to talk about money, about what it means to support this church, about the part that we all can play in ensuring the life of this beloved community, because together we make something greater. I was talking to my dad the other day. Some of you have met my dad. And in his life, I can say that my dad has spent more time on the vestry at his church than he has spent off. And for those of you who don't know, the vestry is what Episcopalians call the governing board. So, longtime vestry member of my dad. And when I told him I was preaching the Sermon on the Amount this Sunday, he suddenly went, "Hey, I've got a great joke for you to tell." So I give you the following, a Fred Bruce special. One day, the pastor was in her office and the phone rang. On the other end of the line was an agent of the IRS. The agent asks, "Is this Reverend Bruce?" And she says, "Yes." The agent says, "And you're a minister of First Parish?" And she says, "Yes." And the agent says, "Well, Reverend Bruce, we're reviewing the tax return of a Mr. Uriah Bartlett," which is one of the names on the headsets out there, by the way. That's where I got it. "We're reviewing the tax return of a Mr. Uriah Bartlett. Is he a member of your congregation?" And she answers, yes, for many years." The agent says, "Great. Now, this Mr. Bartlett has claimed a donation of $10,000 to First Parish on his tax return this year. Did he actually give that amount of money to your church?" And Reverend Bruce says, "Well, he will." So that's a little tip from me to you as tax season approaches. Be forewarned. I'm glad I could tell that joke. My dad's gonna love that I told that joke. I knew it would go over well, because one of the things that we do together is we laugh, right? I think this morning, parts of this morning service, certainly Friday night is an example of that. We help each other find joy, we help each other relax, we help each other connect. And in this season of winter, and especially with some of the losses that we've suffered in our community, and as always, the turmoil of the world raging around us, being able to relax and connect and find joy is so important. Because we see in our world what it looks like when people don't have spaces of joy and belonging, right? People are isolated, filled with grief or rage, and nowhere to put it, no one to send them cards, as some of you said, thank you for cards, no one to wrap their arms around them and say, "We've got you, we'll help you through this." We are the anomaly, folks. Spaces like this are rare here in this church community. So many people don't know what it means to have a community to come home to. The other day, I shared a meme, because yes, inspiration comes from theology and inspiration comes from social media. I found a meme and I shared it in the private church Facebook group that we have that really helped me think about what I wanted to talk about today. The meme was a picture of a lit candle, and the title at the top said, Instructions on Living in a Broken World, with a list beneath of 13 ways to survive in our current times. So I want you to listen to this list as I read it out to you and think about all the joys and concerns that were shared here. Think about soup and talent on Friday night. Think about what it means to you to be part of this community, and figure out how many items on this list you might currently be living out, or we, I should say, might be currently living out together. So this is instructions on living in a broken world. Number 1, lean into community. Number 2, seek out love. Number 3, applaud the good that you see. Number 4, keep paying attention. Number 5, talk to your neighbors. Number 6, dance to the music and embrace art. Number 7, look for small joys. Number 8, take breaks and relish in nourishing your body. Number 9, donate what you can. Number 10, linger at the dinner table with friends. Number 11, check in with your people. Number 12, let yourself breathe. Number 13, love one another as deeply as you can. It's quite a list, yes? I think I checked off at least 3/4 of it at Soup and Talent alone. These are the things that build resilience. These are the things that give us hope. These are the things that keep us going. These are the things that a loving community can foster. The world is full of reasons to be angry, to be scared, to feel hopeless. So let's focus on all the ways that we together can build resilience and keep those fires of hope alive. So now that I've made you laugh a little bit and hopefully made you feel a little warm and gooey inside, I will officially make my annual case to ask you to consider pledging to support this church. You know, why am I asking for your pledge and not just asking for your money? That's an excellent question. Because a pledge, which is a commitment you're making to support the church in the coming church year, a pledge tells us the support we have for the upcoming church year. It gives Bob Delar and the Finance Committee actual crucial information that they need to be able to build the budget that we're actually going to be able to have next year. That's what a pledge does. That's why a pledge is important. And this money that you pledge to our church allows us to say yes to paying equitable salaries to all of our staff. It makes it possible for us to take care of this beautiful historic meeting house and the Beale House across the street. It keeps us in membership with the Unitarian Universalist Association and a lot more. And it makes the practice of living our values real and concrete. We like to talk about values a lot in the church. Living our values, we're living our values. So how do we do that? We support the community that helps us and teaches us and lets us grow. Values that put love at the center of everything we do. Values that confirm we are all inherently worthy and deserving of that love. And values that remind us that we're connected inextricably with each other and all other beings on this earth. Values that call us to speak truth to power and support those who are marginalized and oppressed, like the homeless folks living at the Baymont down the street, and the clients of the Matthew Mission Food Pantry in Taunton. Those are but 2 examples. Because when we practice how to live our values here, we're better able to do it when we go out into the world where there are far harsher forces trying to convince us otherwise. We build what my colleague Rebecca Parker calls, quote, a community of resistance, where people learn to survive and thrive and can sometimes even transform unjust, dominant cultures. I have one other small story from our church life recently that I want to share. That's already been discussed a bit and so eloquently by Tom Vendetti. Yesterday, our own Peter Baird led a Tai Chi workshop in Beale House that about 20 of us attended. We learned a little bit about the science and the spirituality behind the practice, and then we slowly began doing the practice together. Now, first, Peter was a wonderful teacher. He was very gentle, he was very encouraging, I think I wasn't the only one that was feeling a little weird about, am I doing it right? Am I holding this right? Am I, all of that stuff. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'd never really done Tai Chi before, so I thought it was going to be all like arms flowing and breezy and relaxing and just, simple. It was not. It was not that. And I was reminded of the first time I did yoga, also thinking it was just, it's just stretching, and isn't this easy? No, definitely not. So it was hard to remember all the ways we were taught to hold our posture, because we had to have be like, I'm not going to remember all the words, Peter, but like our tailbone was in a certain place, our shoulder blades were in a certain place. Like it was hard to kind of hold all that together. My feet started cramping up after standing in the same place after a little while. And of course, when you're trying to breathe and be grounded and be centered, your nose starts to itch, and your head starts to itch, and you notice one of your socks has fallen down, and you're just like, I'm fine, Yeah, good times. It really was fun, I swear. I say all that because there were also some really, really cool moments for me. Moments when I was actually able to do the things he was trying to teach us how to do, and I was actually able to feel the things he was trying to get us to feel. At one point, we were doing the simplest movement of all. We were just flexing our hands. Those of you who were there may remember this. Like one digit at a time. So these, and then, I can't do it now, of course, because I'm not centered and grounded, but like trying to move each knuckle on each hand independently. And we were contracting and releasing and contracting and releasing. And Peter said something like, I'm paraphrasing here, so forgive me. He said, see if you can notice how your joints open up when you release. So you contract and then release. You can feel your joints open up when you're no longer constricting, when the tension lets go. And you feel it in your joints. You feel that pressure release, feel that opening, feel that flow, that energy. Tai Chi is a lot about energy. I actually felt it. And it was palpable. Like I actually really could feel it. It was like a knot finally coming untied to just feel that kind of tension let go in my hands. And of course, I'm on the computer a lot. I often have some stiff hands. And so like to feel that energy flow was really, really, really amazing. I've bent and unbent my hands 70 billion times in my life. And this is the first time I've ever noticed the release from straightening out my joints. So that's one example, but I will say it was incredibly nourishing just to spend those 2 hours together. We laughed, we learned, we breathed together. It took my mind off of things in a way that I frankly really needed. It allowed me to feel safe. Somebody said, Christina was talking about feeling safe, how Izzy feels safe here. I felt safe in that room with all these people that I love. And I know I would not have had the same experience if I was doing it alone, certainly not. Or if I was in a class with a bunch of people I didn't know. The fact that I was in this room with 20 people I knew, and we were all laughing together and sharing and supporting each other, it was just really, really special. So thank you, Peter, again, for the actual experience and then for the greater experience, and for informing my sermon today. I really appreciate it. You're quite a gift in multiple ways, so thank you. Because, to return to the way I opened the sermon, together we make something greater, right? Together we are stronger than we are alone. Together we create space where we can belong, and we can build resilience, and we can find hope. And that's what church does, and that's why I hope you'll consider supporting the church with a pledge for next year. And that's my sermon on the Mount. May it be so. Amen. In a minute, I'm going to invite you all to join me across the street for some yummy food, a little fun photo slideshow we put together for you, and some time for conversation about the stewardship campaign. I hope you will stay. If you're visiting us this morning, please still come eat. You don't have to pledge. Please still come eat, so I hope you'll join us as well. But for now, please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, number 1028 in the teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.